Hello everyone, this is Mr. Kachak. I'm just going to go through a brief explanation of what the project for semester one is going to be, and it involves functions. First off, the goal of this project is so you can understand the concept and apply it a little better, and hopefully to everyday life. How are you going to do this project? Well, you can compose one of the following: a typed paper, a video, a PowerPoint, a podcast if you want to do that, and it has to include in detail the following. You have to properly explain in your own words the concept of a function. So you have to research this, identify what that is, what we talked about in class. So that hopefully shouldn't be too hard. The next thing is that you also want to identify the type of function you want to research, because you're going to be researching some things. So what type of functions interest you? These functions could be polynomial functions, rational functions, trig functions, inverse functions, composite functions, a wide variety of different functions that we've seen, exponential logarithms that you might have seen in your everyday life. Um, with that, you want to include and explain how the function you chose and function themselves, how are different than unifications and unique to other functions. So the function that you're researching, whatever it may be, maybe lines or cubics, quartics, or even parabolas and quadratics. Whatever you decide, you need to say how that's a little bit different than an ordinary maybe polynomial, okay, or an ordinary everyday function. And also, what's the difference between a function and an equation? Because there is a difference, and I want to make sure that you can see that. Next, after you pick your type of function you want, and maybe you want to do these in any particular order, but next you want to research and identify a real-world application of the function. All right, so the real-world identification is something that hopefully applies to your life, because the application should be applicable to your life now, in the past, or in the future. So if you talk about inverses, find out where inverses apply to your life right now. How are they used in everyday life? And identify what that is. You're going to have to do some research, look on the internet, find some books, maybe you want to talk to some people. But when you're doing this research, make sure you copy down and you identify places that you went, websites and information about that, because you are going to have to write a bibliography. All right, just to let you know, or in a works cited, or possibly works cited. Okay, right here. So you want to make sure you write down and jot down as you're researching, and you find maybe something that you might use, jot that down, put maybe some notes on that, where you found it and whatnot. So if you use it in your paper, you want to make sure you put the information where you found it, because that's citing the sources. Okay. Also, once you identify and research the real application, explain in detail what the application is. Okay, how does it apply? What is the application? Where is it used and applied? How and why the application you chose is important to your life. All right, so that's what you want to do in any different ways. Next thing is identify and detail the function that you found that is being used. All right, now this function might be something that's really complicated. Maybe it's not too complicated. All right, but you want to identify and explain how the domain and range is applied to it. Identify maybe it's a particular type that it is, but you already kind of researched and explained that. Identify undefined values and behaviors. Also, you may want to work with a working example to kind of help you illustrate this, either in your paper or your PowerPoint or your video, or I guess the podcast would be a little tough, but whatever you want to decide, you have to make sure you detail it and make sure whoever is hearing it, listening to it, and seeing it, they understand what that is. Then finally, in your paper, if you write a paper, please cite your sources. Also, if you do a PowerPoint or a video, make sure you have pictures or sources where you get that information from. If you use any pictures, make sure you cite those properly, because that is very important to do. So all the things that you're using in your English classes and you do for other things, you need to apply that. And then finally, you need to have a bibliography. Here's the rubric. You're going to be 100 points possible for this. You're going to have, and then actually this would be 15 points. I apologize. 20, 20, 15, and 10. Okay, and this would be, all right, 20. All right, is that make sure that you have each one of these things explained. So I want to see explanation of the concept and type, explanation of the importance or application and importance, explanation of the function itself and all the different and how it works and how it the math involved in that basically. Topic and overall quality, I'm going to be judging as, wow, was it creative? Did you put a lot of work? Was a great example? A solid topic, good example, okay example, not original, not that well, and so forth. Also, presentation, as in, was it well, if you did a PowerPoint or in the paper presentation, did it flow well? Was it understandable, logically written, and thorough? The grammar and citations, make sure you have those in there. And then also bibliography and works cited, whatever you choose, depending on what you do. So that is the paper. The due date is going to be after Thanksgiving, and we'll decide that as a group. But you probably want to get started working on this and researching, maybe looking at different examples we talk about in class. Maybe that'll strike your interest. It's not necessarily hard. Hopefully you don't consider it hard, but hopefully it's educational and you learn a lot from it and you find it maybe a little bit fun. All right, that's it. And if you have any questions, you can talk to me or others. But have a great day.